It is your planet. It is my planet. It is our planet, although it is mostly mine now.
You said you wanna play your game.
And on this planet, baby,
You tell me
red
when I
meat
said I pick it
is
up, it's
king.
all the same.
Planet Hall.
Don't follow all the rules.
Yes,
I know you
indeed.
don't change day by day. Hardly seems
Hello and welcome
like can
once
anybody
again.
understand?
Yeah, hope everybody had a wonderful weekend.
8 points
I had a wonderful weekend of not doing a
later.
goddamn thing. I always enjoy those.
8 points later.
Man, this weekend I was talking with the lady about some, I don't know, we got on some random conversations. And for whatever reason, I don't know if I referenced it directly, but for whatever reason, Walker, Texas Ranger just got fixated. I fixated on it in my mind. I didn't know why I was thinking about it at that moment in time. So I did what I usually do, and when I have like a song stuck in my head, I have to listen to it a little bit to kind of dislodge it and then hope it just kind of goes. So I figured I'd do the same thing with the Walker Texas Ranger thing, and so I came on in and turned to the listening device and had the listening device play it. And the first song that it played, like the first thing I heard was like, I'm waiting to hear the guitar. The first thing I heard was like, it was like, I got stacks of money, yo, and then it was, and then a beat dropped, and oh God, oh, is this what it's like? The first thing that popped in my head is this what that's like? Have I become a racist old white person? When you hear something that used to be something and it's now some fucking illiterate horseshit, and you hate the fact that why'd you have to do that to Walker Texas Ranger? Why that? It's not even like that show was like, the popularity that show has now is mainly as a joke. People bring it up to kind of make fun of it. I actually loved that show. I used to watch that show whenever it was on. I think it came on Thursdays. I want to say it was either USA or TNT. One of them had it. But anyway, I used to love that damn show. I can admit to how ridiculous it is by when you get older and you kind of look at it and you're like, okay, a whole lot of this doesn't make sense. But it's still a good show. But why'd you have to fuck it off? Like, why couldn't you? I guarantee you those kids that made that song have never seen that show or did not really watch that show. It was just some reference, something to just reference and to sample for the sake of just what? Oh, retro chic. God fucking damn it, man. You had to take a shit on Walker, Texas fucking Ranger. Fuck. Anyway, I didn't come here to talk to you about that. I came here today to talk to you about the man. He is undefeated. He is a governor of the greatest state currently in the United States of America. That's right, I'm talking about Iron Ron DeSantis, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, I can't call him Iron Ron. I don't know, I've already got an iron. Gotta come up with a different nickname. For him. But the Sandman has done it again, ladies and gentlemen. Signing some more legislation to basically bring us back to normal. We're ending the state of emergency here in Florida and suspending whatever lingering COVID public health rules are remaining. But a big part of what he signed, and I like the spirit of what he did, I just think it was kind of an empty gesture. I'm not going to lie to you. But the bottom line here and the headline is it's over. It's over here, at least. I think some places are still going to have the ability to, govern as they see fit in terms of like businesses and whatnot. They can still require you to wear a mask. And now, every now and again, the lady says something. I'm like, you know what? You do know me pretty well. Okay. Because she said when she heard that today, she laughed because one of her friends were telling her that or something like that. And she laughed because she said, well, now we'll find out what stores you're going to go to. And she was referring to me. She's like, now they all have to decide. Like, yes, they will. I'm going to don my chainmail. And I'm going to walk in without a mask. And if they ask me to leave, I will simply say, you chose poorly. And I will never return again. No, but in all seriousness, yeah. Now, I fully expect the corporations to kind of follow still, they're still going to follow suit with pop culture, which is directed and controlled by the media and Hollywood and those types. So they'll stay in line with that. But this really applies to the mom and pops. Because I tell you what, if I walk in and you say, oh, no mask, I'm going to say no mas. But this is a good thing. Now, on to the thing that I was saying that was kind of an empty gesture. Now, look, we're all big fans of the Sandman on this channel. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I probably said it before your favorite YouTuber did. DeSantis 2024. And we're full speed with that. And, we got to think about potential running mates and things of that nature. But you know what? Actually, let me hold off on that for now because there's a bigger point to get to on that. But let me finish with this empty gesture point. So the only thing about this that I thought was kind of an empty gesture was there was a provision that was kind of that he put in. Not kind of, it was put in. And again, this article will be available for you, as well as I have a link to the actual bill itself. So if you want to actually read the bill itself and swim your way through the everlasting tide of whereases, have at it. It will be down there for you to, of course, peruse at your leisure. But there was a provision that he put in here, and it was basically to allow the legislature to basically serve as a check for a tyrannical governor, like we've seen in, New York, Michigan, California. So it's basically a provision. And you know what? Those are just the ones that make the news. But New Jersey, we'll throw New Jersey in there. Delaware, we'll throw Delaware in there. Everywhere where you're still locked down, not allowed to go see your family, where they are telling you can't see your family. Newsflash, your governor is a tyrant. So just because they may not make it onto the big stage doesn't mean that they're not a part of this party. Now, party. That was a little on the nose. Anyhow, so he put this provision in to kind of prevent that. My problem with that, and where I say that's an empty gesture, perhaps you've already figured it out. That's already in there. There's checks and balances was already built into our rule system. So now you're creating a rule to serve in the place that the original rule is still already in there and serving. The problem is there was the so what factor. There was the do something factor. See, that's what I saw in a lot of those other states. And maybe this is me breaking it down to a very, very rudimentary level, a very primitive level. Fine. But you know what? I think a lot of things, we've deluded ourselves with our fascination with intellectualism. And I think we've forgotten a lot of our core sense in who we are, which is animal, which is primitive, which is simple. Anyhow, there were a lot of situations that I saw from these other states where they were blatantly taking steps that no politician before them on American soil had ever done. At least not in any of these people's lifetimes had a politician told them they can't go to Thanksgiving. So they crossed a very personal line, and you did nothing back. It's almost like that Chris Rock bit where he's talking about like a woman that's out of control, and then she does that one thing and she waits for you to snap and hit her or whatever, and you don't, and then she's like, I got you. That is what those governors did, and you didn't do anything. So once they saw they had that control, then I don't have to. Okay, so if I'm going to break the rules, one of the hard rules of the game that we play, of the land that we live in, and you can't do anything about it or won't do anything about it, and I have enough political coverage and media coverage to where nobody's going to make a big stink about it, well, shit. All right, I'm not going to follow the rules anymore. So then creating a new rule to say, no, follow the old rules doesn't make any sense to me. I understand the spirit of what he did, and he gets no criticism from me for that. I just have an aversion, a painful aversion to empty gestures at this point in my life. So if I see them, it triggers this weird, I think it's my sciatica. I don't know what it is, but it creates a reaction where it eventually works its way up into my mouth and I have to say something. But other than that, this is beautiful. And we will see what is next for the Sunshine State here in wonderful Freedom Land, USA. But the larger point that I kind of put off earlier, I saw where Donald Trump was asked recently about Ron DeSantis. And he was like, yeah, Ron is certainly in the, he's certainly in consideration or whatever. I understand what he's doing. This is a power game now. Like I get, at least I think I get, right? Could be completely wrong. But I think I get the move to kind of, it's framing. It's like, well, no. You're not on my level, but I would consider you as somebody who can serve with me. In my opinion, it would be a monumental mistake for Ron DeSantis to run as Donald Trump's vice president. Ron DeSantis right now has more momentum than any politician than I can think of in America right now. I mean, it's between him and goddamn Caitlyn in terms of has the people, the force of the people behind them. And really, that's all that matters in terms of at least the Republican Party, right? Not the Democrat Party. That's not what matters because the people wanted Bernie twice and well, see, what the people want doesn't matter over there. They just kind of, move some things around, switch, Kansas City shuffle, and voila. Hey, I didn't vote for that. Shut up. Yes, you did. We'll block you. We'll censor you. But on this side, at least for now, the will of the people means something. And by look no further than Donald Trump. Remember, establishment did not want him. Remember, establishment is Lincoln Project. That was their response to the people getting behind Donald Trump. Then, of course, they just fall in line because you know, they understand where their bread is buttered. And if there's one thing those bastards know, it is how to save their asses and their paychecks. So Ron DeSantis right now, I don't know that he has the exact momentum that Donald Trump had when he was running in 2016. In fact, he doesn't. He doesn't. Because that was on a much bigger scale. And Donald Trump knew how to kind of, because he wasn't yet a politician yet. At that time, he wasn't yet a politician. He was still Donald Trump vintage. And even from the time when he first took office, remember the transformation. People like to make jokes and say, oh, he's just terrible, terrible, terrible. Okay. But for those of us who are adults who can kind of look at things, strip ourselves of however we feel about the subject and just observe it scientifically as to learn, then we saw a marked progression in Donald Trump as he was serving in office. But remember where he started. And that's where he was when he was campaigning. It was really just, I don't want to say stoking the rage, but he was stoking the discontentment. He was saying the things that we all say with a much louder voice. And in front of cameras that we don't have access to. So, no, he doesn't quite have that kind of title momentum. But that's not to say he can't get it. I think if Ron DeSantis runs against Donald Trump, win or lose, he goes nowhere but up from there. Because if he loses to Donald Trump, okay, no big deal. You lost to the ace. You lost to the top guy. To make a wrestling reference, because it actually ties in pretty seamlessly here. If you're an up-and-comer and you lose to the guy, if you lose to John fucking Cena while he's the champion, nobody's going to, when you get back to the locker room, nobody's going to be like, damn, you lost to John Cena. Nobody's going to say that because he's the best. If anything, a strong showing against him makes you look strong. Uh-oh. If anything, a memorable showing against him makes you memorable. Uh-oh. If anything, he beats you, we expect him to. But there is a chance that you could actually beat him. And then what do you become? So, running against Donald Trump is all wins for Ron DeSantis. And there's a way to do it where he's not burning the professional bridge. And Donald Trump's a businessman. Donald Trump is a smart business. And I'm not here to, I'm not like, we're not fluffing the man here. Just kind of stating some things. I believe in his ability, as I do with most business people, most business-minded people, have the ability to work with someone regardless of how they feel about them personally, if it leads to profitability for both of them. So there's a way for Ron DeSantis to run against Donald Trump without burning bridges. And it should just be clean. It should just be a clean, straight up race. And I'm going to tell you something. I think Ron DeSantis will beat him. If they go heads up and look, you just check my catalogs, the catalogs of hog. If you think that I'm down on Donald Trump, I'm not. In fact, I was big on Donald Trump before he was a politician. This just pushed him over the top. But if Ron DeSantis runs against Donald Trump heads up, I think he beats Donald Trump. Why? Well, this COVID thing is a big thing. It is a big thing because he was in the national headlines. You know, because at that point, Donald Trump was essentially in the lame duck phase. So then they started going after the future contenders. Smart move. So he was constantly in the crosshairs of the media, to where people I know from other states say, "Man, what's going on with your guy? What's going on with this guy?" Pretty fucking good. What do you mean? And then now that the national media has had to walk back what they've said about him and say, well, okay, well, maybe the way he did it wasn't so fucking stupid. Maybe we're fucking stupid. But you listen to us, so who cares? No. They've had to walk it back and say, you know what? Maybe this deserves, what was it, USA Today? Maybe it deserves a second look. That's the thing about liberals is like they're haughty even in failure. They're arrogant even in failure. At no point in time do they humble themselves and say, you know what, maybe I should just shut the fuck up about thinking that just because I do this very well, just because I scored this high score at this university, just because I have these initials at the end of my name, I can just spout off on everything and everybody should listen to everything I say because I'm very good at this one specific thing that is not related to what I'm spouting off about at all. But anyway, Ron DeSantis had to contend with the media in that. I don't think enough people who are in the Trump voting base know that Ron DeSantis has also been fighting the exact big tech battle that Donald Trump was fighting, although Ron DeSantis has won. And that's not a knock on Donald Trump. Donald Trump was fighting it on a grand scale, harder battle. Ron DeSantis was fighting it on a micro scale, just the state of Florida. Nevertheless, he won it. And look, what's Donald Trump's biggest weapon? Well, when he was running, it's the mudslinging, it's the name game. If he tries to do that to Ron DeSantis, he risks looking a lot like CNN, because all he'll have to do is run whatever Donald Trump says about Ron DeSantis. And you know they do that little dubbing where they turn it black and white and then run like Don Lemon saying the same thing and be like, whose side are you on, Don? Donald Trump can't use his greatest weapon, in my opinion, against Ron DeSantis, because Ron DeSantis has already gone through that with the national media and shown through on the other side. He's come out unscathed. So now for Donald Trump to try to mudsling, it's not going to work. Not only is it not going to work, but I'm willing to bet money if he tries to do it this time around, it's going to turn people off. I'm talking about people in his voting base. They're like, oh, here we go, same old. Because as much as we enjoyed that Donald Trump, we also understood, at least those of us who were really trying to see some things happen, that there were shortcomings in the way he did things, in that he was so pugnacious. He was just so combative in how he did things that look, a hammer's a great tool, but a hammer doesn't fix everything. In fact, if you try to use a hammer for a lot of the applications it's not designed for, you'll end up creating more problems. And that's not to say he created more problems across the board. In certain areas, sure. I kind of wish he was a little bit more. Look, again, you can't get mad at the woman that you meet that sleeps with you on the first date, and then you start dating, and then she starts sleeping with other guys, right? She came as advertised. It was you that thought that you could do something that changed her. Oh, that's a different subject for a different time. But it applies here as well. You can't say on the one hand, oh, we love Donald Trump because he's got no filter. He says whatever he thinks. And then be like, damn, like, oh, man, he keeps saying whatever he thinks, man. I wish he had a filter. No. That's why you liked him. So you can't just turn it off just because you don't like it now. That's the reason why he's here. So you have to take the good and the bad with it, right? If you pray for rain, you got to tolerate the mud. So that was okay then. I don't think it's okay now. Back then, we were just ramming the gates. Donald Trump was the battering ram to burst us into the fortress. But now we can have a more nuanced, a more stylized attack. And I think Ron DeSantis is that. If he runs against Donald Trump and he loses, Donald Trump will bring him in to his cabinet on some position, on some level. And that won't hurt him moving forward, because at that point, Donald Trump will be officially canonized as the Republican, they call him the kingmaker. But he'll essentially be the Pope of the Republican Party. No boy touching. So it's all, to me, the only loss here is him saying, yeah, I'll run as Donald Trump's VP. Although that route may offer him the most immediate success, I think ultimately it's going to hamstring his potential in terms of what he can be. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's my thoughts on that. For now, looks like Florida's getting back to normal. And yes, I will be testing the souls of all of these businesses out there, lest ye request mine face be covered with the unwashed cloth. You will feel my divine fury. Until the next time, peasant.